The outcome of Brexit may not be certain, but one thing is clear. Your business could face serious challenges. Enterprise Ireland's wide range of supports will help you plan, innovate, compete and diversify. Speak to your Enterprise Ireland Development Advisor or visit prepareforbrexit.ie, an initiative of the Government of Ireland.
Welcome everybody to Somewhere in Vegas here on blogtalkradio.com. Also, our new home over at Spreaker.com. I am Mark the Q. I am your host. In just a few minutes, we'll be talking to a representative from Fight Tyme Live. We'll be talking a little bit about his platform. Also, we'll be talking a little bit about the fights that are coming up. There's a fight coming up this Saturday. You can download the app or you can watch it online at fighttimelive.com. With that in mind, we have our guest on right now. Okay, we are live with Khalif-Delence, who is the chairman and founder of Fight Tyme Live. How's everything going so far in terms of the fights this weekend?
The fight is going to be amazing. Things are going wonderful. We're really showcasing in 188 countries these fighters that are coming up. Fighters that are virtually unknown. These.
And blessed are the great, for they shall receive their just rewards.
Have you been saintly with credit in the past? If your credit record is rated great, Avantcard can offer you Ireland's lowest rate on loans over €20,000. So whether you've been dreaming of an upgraded kitchen, better bathroom or snazzier car, see if we can answer your prayers.
For more info, go to avantcard.ie.
Limited time offer. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply. New applications only. Information correct as of February 1st, 2019. See bonkers.ie. Avantcard DAC trading as Avantcard is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Your everyday, I guess you would say, pay-per-view, pay-per-stream fighters. These are fighters that were breaking news to the globe with the WBF World Boxing Foundation and Fight Tyme on our Fight Tyme Live network. So things are going wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, having that relationship with the World Boxing Federation, WBF, I mean, that's a big deal in terms of the future of the platform as well. I mean, how is it to be able to partner up with the WBF?
It's a really revolutionary thing because really rarely do you have a broadcast platform, agency, as well as a sanctioning body coming together in an organic way to really empower the fighters. So many times the fighters get the short end of the stick. So at Fight Tyme, our platform is geared towards the fighters. And with the WBF, the World Boxing Foundation, which used to be the World Boxing Federation, which was defunct. And, Mick Croucher has done wonderful things revitalizing the WBF, the World Boxing Foundation, and James Gibbs, who's the president of North America. And so from that standpoint, we're really, really focusing on not just creating wonderful, engaging combat sports promotions, but also in providing resources for the fighters like health insurance, and things of that nature, teaching them how to use cryptocurrency. So once they're out of the ring, how are they going to sustain, that lifestyle in their family? So it's very, very important and revolutionary what we're doing with the WBF for the sport.
Well, speaking of technology, obviously, a lot of platforms now are popping up to give some of these fighters some platforms to be able to fight. It's been interesting to see that some of the major players like HBO is getting out of the boxing business, and now we're seeing other platforms, and especially your platform too, really kind of focusing on the boxing aspect and some of these talented fighters that may not have gotten any television time. What does it mean to have a live platform like this so people not only nationally here in the United States but international be able to get some exposure?
That's a wonderful question, and I'll give you a real world study. Like the former lightweight IBF champion of the world, Robert Easter Jr., fought the current IBF lightweight champion of the world, Richard Comey, who wasn't the champion at that time. But they fought on Fight Tyme. This is way back in 2016 in September. And the reason why I bring this up is that larger networks that are traditional terrestrial networks, such as HBO, as you said, who got out of boxing, Showtime, ESPN, even like Spike TV and things of this nature, they're really only in the U.S. and Canada. So seeing Robert Easter fighting Richard Comey, who's from Ghana, people in Ghana weren't able, or in any of the 64 countries on the continent of Africa, or any of the other 186 countries outside of the United States and Canada, they weren't able to watch the fight if it wasn't broadcasted on Fight Time. Nowadays, you see so much disruption in the marketplace of traditional terrestrial linear TV because of the paper stream, because of the cyber, because of the apps, the Apple TV, the Roku, the Fire Stick. And that's what we've done is we've really decentralized broadcast. And we brought it not only from the social aspect, but also giving the fighters a way to share in the action. You know, even on Showtime or even on DAZN, even all of these other major platforms are doing wonderful things, but the fighters seldom get revenue share, you know, outside of their person. You know, the fighters are limited, are marginalized. They're not sharing in the advertising revenue. They're not sharing in the data monetization or the data mining that's happening from the network side or the platform side. They're not sharing in the sponsorship revenues that are happening. They're not sharing in the media buys. So we've brought a systematic ecosystem to the combat sports world, because not just boxing, but MMA, Sambo, Sancho, Jiu-Jitsu, traditional martial arts, archery. So we've created a business model and harmonize it with the fighters, with the promoters. The promoters are very important. Without the promoters, the fighters don't get moved. The matchmakers, okay, down to the sanctioning bodies like the WBF, even working and willing to work with the WBC, the WBO, the WBA. So we're really created something that's not only unique, but something that's quite sacred, and that, you know, we put a lot of energy and resources behind, to say the least.
Yeah, and to be able to have, you know, a star like from Ghana have the opportunity to be seen in the United States. I mean, there's been, you know, there are European fighters that don't have, you know, access to the United States, you know, kind of, you know, getting behind them more. You know, maybe some of the South American fighters or some of the Central American fighters, some of the Caribbean fighters as well. So like I said, it's getting that platform to be able to see some of these stars that people may not have known or heard about, that are probably some of the most talented boxers out there. I mean, Ghana is known for its really talented boxing history, and I don't think very many United States fans know about that in terms of the boxing world.
You're absolutely correct. And, you know, the thing about the U.S. and Ghana or Africa, the Middle East, which is essentially still Africa, or, you know, Australia, because even the WBF was revitalized out of Australia. But in order to be branded properly, everyone understands and understands that America still has you have to pass the litmus test. You have to be a fighter that's moved through the American markets. You have to get in touch with not just a strong stable from your fighting side, but also your brand. A lot of fighters nowadays are realizing that it's not about so much just inside of the ropes, inside of the ring, that it's also about creating that brand, creating the brand awareness for your brand, from merchandising, simply selling shirts and hats, and even down to when we do our paper stream, we give the fighters promo codes. The fighters go out and say, hey, come watch my fight on Fight Time, you know, $4.99, and we give up to 99 cents when the fighters hit various milestones, revenue share for the fighter. So a fighter may make, say, $2,000 on a purse, maybe on a 8-round card, okay? $2,000 for a purse, not really that much. But when you think about, you have another 10,000 social media followers, and of those 10,000 social media followers, say you have a 30% conversion rate, so you got 3,000 of those followers who engage when you say, hey, come watch me on Fight Time, use this promo code. They come watch you on Fight Time, that's an extra $3,000 you just made. So you made more money off of monetizing your social media or your audience than you did on your purse actually fighting in the ring. So we're creating an environment where this is bigger than fighting, this is bigger than boxing. It's really a technology play as well. You know, we've integrated with our sponsors, Sports Crypto, which is a cryptocurrency ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain that allows fighters, as you talk about, brother, from Central America or fighters that are from places like Venezuela, where we see right now the political unrest and what's going on with the currency, the bolivar being inflated. You know, they were printing bolivars like there was no tomorrow. And so where you have a loaf of bread that might have cost 5 bolivars now costs you 50 bolivars. So back to the Venezuelan fighters, just like this weekend on the card, we have Prince Isidore, who's from Trinidad and Tobago, and then you have Anthony, who's from Anthony Armand, who's from Venezuela. And Venezuela, with the currency, he's getting paid a couple thousand for his purse. But by the time that money actually goes back to Venezuela with inflation, that $2,000-3,000 is, you're lucky if you're getting $1,300-1,400 of that value to actually spend in currency. So back to the sports crypto, by us paying these fighters bonuses in cryptocurrency, there's no inflation, there's no tax liability, there's zero merchant processing, and their capital is safe wherever they go in the world. So we're doing a lot of revolutionary things here with Fight Tyme, the WBF, sports crypto, Savvy Television, and the fighters who make it happen.
Well, I mean that's great to hear. I mean, obviously the sports crypto technology is very important in terms of the world, whatever's going to happen in the world. I mean, just seeing about conversion rates in terms of what money is, in terms of what the dollar is versus maybe what the peso is, or what the euro is, or what the pound is, it's kind of the yen is. It's interesting to have that kind of the thing that kind of stays constant throughout the globe. So. Yeah, I can perfectly understand how important it is to have that crypto as a part of the package as well. On the other flip side of the coin, the idea of just having fights in different places. This weekend's card is going to be out of Trinidad and Tobago, Port of Spain, and the ability to broadcast from different locations without having to have a bulky satellite truck. Versus having to do it through a very reliable internet connection. How's it been for the platform itself to be able to be as portable as it is to go to different places like Trinidad and Tobago?
Wonderful question. It's been such an amazing experience. I mean, the versatility of our solution, not just from our production crews run by our CEO and director of production, Andre Savage, or even down to with Sheldon and what they do at the agency is deploying even the fly packs. So whether we're popping up and we're in a place like Trinidad or even someplace more remote, we have the opportunity and ability to, let's say, do from a 3-camera shoot all the way up to a 20-camera, utilizing iPhones and Mevo cameras. And so we can really give the fans an experience. We're also releasing later on this year a fan experience production I guess you would say, infrastructure that allows the fans to choose the angles that they watch the fight from. It's never been done before. So, if you want that overhead bird eye static view, then you can, choose that view. If you want to look at the traditional hot corners, you can choose that view. If you want to do some untraditional and look at the fans' experience, watch it from some of the ringside seats and integrating with augmented reality and virtual reality. Another thing that's been very, very creative is our ability to follow the fighters in a more organic way because of the simple fact that you don't have to worry about lugging around a lot of hardware. You can really catch things in a more organic atmosphere where people forget that the cameras are even there. And so the experience has been wonderful. We're continually innovating our technology. We're continually learning and upgrading. We're continually adapting to new, peripherals that come out and new challenges in the marketplace. But overall, it's been a beautiful journey, and we look forward to continue to move forward.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact that that it's not only going to be boxing on this, but possibly MMA and other combat sports as well. I mean, how are we looking in 2019? Are we going to kind of stay with the boxing, or are we looking to expand a little bit more?
Wonderful question. We're definitely expanding. We've done combat sports promotions. We actually have a fighter whose name is the Ox Fighter. His name is Callan Chaos Williams.
He's not only undefeated in MMA,